Hello, I'm Anna. Welcome to my channel, and I'm so excited to have you here with me today. On the video today, I'm going to be sharing my top tips that I have learnt over the last 53 years of doing my eye makeup. Well, actually, I didn't start at zero, so maybe the last 40 years of doing my eye makeup on hooded eyes. So I hope that these tips can help you as they have helped others. I wish that someone had shared this with me back in the day when I first started doing my eye makeup, because I have been through all sorts of trial and error, and so hopefully these tips that I've learned can help you as well. So if you're interested in having a look and recreating this look on your eyes, feel free to play along at home and pause it when you need to, and let me know down below how you've gone and whether these tips have been helpful. Thanks heaps and keep on watching. So I'm not a makeup artist. This is just my top tips that I've discovered through trial and error, and hopefully they can be helpful for you. Let's just have a look at what we're working with today first, actually, because, you know, some people are not sure what hooded eyes are, or do I have hooded eyes or do I not have hooded eyes? For me, the hood here is when the skin above the eye actually comes down sort of almost to the lash line, and when I open my eyes you can see here how that skin just hangs down over almost to my lashes. So not everybody has this degree of hooding, but it can be a little bit tricky to place the eyeshadow so that you can actually see it. And so you can see here when I shut my eye, you can see that there's a crease here, but when I open it, the crease and everything just disappears. So that is on both of my eyes. So you can see this one as well has that similar thing. See that? Okay. Hangs right down. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do now on my face at the moment, I already have foundation, have a little bit of bronzer, and I put my eyebrows on. So that's all I have at the moment. I have not put any concealer on just yet because I wanted to try this with you. I'm going to do a demo and a wear test of this brand new Chanel Ultra Le Teint concealer. It's not a first impression. I've been using it all week and I absolutely love it. Spoiler alert. But I'm going to pop this on and show you how this wears also on my mature eyelids. And I've got this in the colour B10. I've learnt through experience that you don't need very much of this. So I will only just put a little bit, a little dot here, a little dot here, and a little dot here. And sometimes I pop it down here as well. And I'm only just going to do one side at a time so that it doesn't dry too much. So I'm going to just blend that in now. The important thing is that you have a good even base to put your eyeshadow down onto. So you can see here that has blended in beautifully. It's really smooth. It's not settling into any fine lines, and it's covering what I need it to cover. So I'm finding that it's really working really well for me. I'll pop it on the other side. Make sure you go right up underneath your eyebrows. So this is supposed to be really long wearing and really good for staying on. So there we have the concealer, and it's on now. Great base for us to start, and I'll come back later and I'll show you how that's wearing. Okay, so now we have our base. Now it's time to decide what eyeshadows we're going to put on, and my next tip is that you need to choose eyeshadows. You need to have at least 3. You need a dark, a medium, and a lighter or a pop color. Okay, a dark, medium, and a light or pop color. That's what works for me through my trial and error as I've done my eyes over the years. Now, just for fun and because it's new, I'm going to be using the Chanel Rouge Noir Confidence palette, and this is a face and eye palette. So, and you can see here that there's a medium color, there's a pop color. This is a sort of a darker color, but I am going to go in with one that's next level, a little bit darker, to really get into those corners. But I'm going to start with this just to show that it does work really well on the eyes as well as the cheeks. So my next tip also is good brushes. Now, good doesn't mean expensive. Good just means ones that work for you. And the ones that work for me the best are these 2 brushes from MAC. So there's this one, which is sort of a blending brush, I think. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it looks like that. And then this one here is a pencil brush. Now this is going to be your best friend with hooded eyes. And what I love about this is that it's actually really densely packed and it's pointy. And it can get, it's very precise, and then we can get right in there. The precision is key, okay? When we have hooded eyes, we don't want the eyeshadow to be going just willy-nilly everywhere. We've got to be strategic with our eyes, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab some of this medium color here. I'm going to start by popping that across on just across my whole lid, just giving us a base color, a base wash of color to start with. Okay, so this is the sort of medium color. I'm choosing the pinks because pinks look really good on bluey sort of green eyes like what I've got, but you can choose browns, you can choose whatever you like. To be honest, when I was learning, I did start with browns because they were safe for me, and I think that that's a good place to start. So you would go for a sort of a light, you know, medium eyeshadow, medium brown or a taupey color. So my next tip is to look straight ahead. Okay, so look straight ahead as I'm doing now and see, can you see it above the hood? Now I'm not seeing anything above the hood, so I know now that I need to go a little bit higher. Okay, so what I do is tilt my head back a bit so that I can see more, and then I go above. I go like that. Okay, now we're going to go above with the darker color as well, so it's okay. It's all about layers, all right? We start small and we build our way up. Now we go in with the lighter color here and join that up there. So we get a bit of the lighter color and we go out with the light and we go with the darker color. Now this is very strategic. Can you see that I haven't been just doing any sort of motions? I have not got a fluffy brush like a lot of the young people do and just go with windscreen wiper motions. I don't do that. I've tried to do that and it did not work for me. Okay, so when I do windscreen wiper motions, I end up with makeup everywhere. In particular, I have it coming down here. Now you can see that I have here downturned eyes. Okay, so anything that I do that goes beyond that imaginary line there is going to make my eyes look more downturned, so I look sad and I don't want to look sad. Okay, so I'm very strategic in what I do, and I always go, and we don't need a fluffy brush until the end. Okay, what I always will do is I go in with the dark, out with the light, in with the dark, out with the light. That is my mantra. Okay, so now I'm going to grab this pencil brush that I showed you before, and I'm going to go in with a darker color. All right, so this is slightly darker. We can go in, I'm going to go in with another one in a minute if you want to go even more intense. I think I want to show this to you so that you don't have to go fully intense if you don't want to, but if you do, then I'll give you that option as well. Okay, so for now we'll go in with this one, which is a beautiful reddy mauvey color, and it's placing, we place it, we don't just scribble it down, we place and we go in with the dark, remember, and we go in. This is a bit of a line here, we go in, and then we open and we see how far we need to go above. So I'll do that again and I'll show you again. We start here and we go in, and then we open and we see where we need, how far we need to go above. Going slowly is really important, and there's no harm in that. I would rather go slowly and get it right than go quickly and then have to start again. That would suck. There we go. So can you see we're starting to be able to see that color above the hood, but it's not too much. There we go. We're still staying within that imaginary line. See, there's that imaginary line. We're not going down here. We're not going down here. We are staying within that line and we are placing it carefully and gently. And we can blend later. At the moment, we're placing. What we're going to end up with is a bit like a sort of it's going to go like this and like straight across. We'll end up going like this and like this. Okay? See how we can see that above the crease, but it's not too much. All right, I'm going to shut my eyes and show you how that looks. When we shut our eyes, we then just join up any bits that might be sort of skipped or missing in between. So now we have the foundation. It's not fully blended, but we have the outline, so to speak. It does not go beyond there, and we can see it. And that's really important that we can actually see it above the hood. Okay. Now I also take that colour, that same colour, and I join it up just underneath. So again, tip your head back a little bit, pop that underneath, and then join that up. Can you see also that I'm doing little sort of patting, dotting, rather than big swipey swipes? Yeah. Patting is our friend. Dotting is our friend, because then with mature crepey eyelids, we can sometimes skip, and this is the same when we get to our eyeliner as well. Okay, so that is looking great. I can see it above, and now it's time, if we want to go next level, I'm going to show you what you can do if you'd like to just make it pop just that little bit more. And I'm going to share with you, this is a really good one and done palette. If you don't want to get the Rouge Noir Confidence palette or something similar to that, a small one that again has a dark and a medium color and a light or a pop color. This Warm Memories, if you have colored, it's a really good one. This is my second one. I've already gone through one and I love it so much. I'm going to grab this darker color here, and again, layering. I'm going to start at the bottom near the lash, and I'm doing little dashes, yeah, little dashes, and then we move our way up. And see how this is, I'm almost going in like a triangle here as well. The aim of this darker color is to concentrate it around this area, which is my droopiest part, okay? So this little droop there is the bane of my life, but we can minimize that, okay? So we grab a little bit more and we go in here and we place it strategically, because anything that you make darker, as I always say, anything you make darker, it recedes, it goes backwards a little bit, all right? So you can see that I'm putting this on with my eyes open and back a bit, and then we fill in the dots, fill in the blanks, okay? So this is just strategically popping a spot of darkness right where the hood is. It's really strategic. Now this is not going to look good when I shut my eyes, okay? Just quietly, but we're not there yet. So we just make sure that when we've got our eyes open, head back a bit, and we pop that there because we're making the hood go back, okay? Now I'm going to shut my eyes and you'll be able to see what that looks like, and see how it's a bit sort of uneven, it's not blended. This is where we now fill in the blanks, little dots, pointy, and blend in with the dark. Yeah, there we go. So now it's very clear. We can see the color above the hood, and this hood here, this droopy part is camouflaged a little bit. It's never going to disappear, and that's fine. You know, our eyes are our eyes and we have to love the way they are. But I like to be able to camouflage and minimize wherever possible. So now that we have the placement, now is when we can do some additional blending just to make sure. And I usually clean off my brush or get a different brush, whichever works better for you. A clean brush. Another type of brush that might be helpful for you is one that looks like this. So it's a smaller one. So compared to the MAC, see the MAC's a bit bigger. This is a smaller one. So you can get a smaller one. But again, it's firm. It's not fluffy. It's not our friend. We get the lighter color. Get a lighter color. Actually, I'll go back to my beautiful Confidence palette, which I adore. We'll get the lighter color again, and we'll go along the edges, and we just soften those edges. So we don't need to get a big fluffy brush and go everywhere. It's quite easy to soften those edges just with a firmer brush, and we stay within the lines that we've set ourselves in that imaginary line, and we just go in there and gently buff out any of the edges. There we go. So it's blended. There's no harsh lines, but we haven't gone excessively low, and we've kept it lifted. So we can see now the difference between my two eyes, even before we put any mascara or eyeliner or anything on. I'll come in closely so that you can see how that just makes eyes pop, and we can see the eyeshadow above. Okay. Now I'm going to put on some eyeliner. Now this might be uncomfortable for some people who've never worn eyeliner like this before. I know when I first started doing it, felt a bit weird, and I can just do this now and pop it on myself like that. However, when I first started, I actually needed to grab my lid and grab the lashes and go like this. And what we're doing is we're just filling in that underneath part that's close to the lashes, because we don't have a lot of space above the lashes, okay? So what we need to do is we need to use as much of the space that we can that is visible. So we go up underneath here, and it's like we're just colouring in and filling in right at the base of the lashes. See, even just putting that on has really helped to make those eyes, make the eyes pop. Now, when using eyeliner on hooded eyes, it seems a bit useless because you can't see it. Like when I'm looking straight ahead like this, you can't see anything if I put it on the top. But when I do shut my eyes, people can see it. So there's still value, in my opinion. So I will shut my eyes, and when I put eyeliner on, I don't ever draw a line. I don't use liquid liner because I just can't seem to manage it. It never looks good on my eyes, and I end up getting really thick because I try and even it out. It's just no go for me. So I use this because it's nice and easy. A nice soft pencil. Victoria Beckham is great, and also this Chanel one is amazing as well. And then what I do is I do little dashes, okay? I don't draw a line. I do little dots and dashes, and I get really close. And I stop halfway. And the aim is to just thicken this outer third or almost a half a little bit. So we make it thicker towards the end here, and we dot and we blend and we dot. See that? Like that. And that just again adds a little bit of dimension on the outer corner. And when I shut my eyes, you can see it. When I open my eyes, it all blends in. And this is just adding a little bit of shadowing. It adds a little bit of shadowing to behind your mascara when we put the mascara on, okay? Now, some people like to put some underneath. I am a bit of a fan of popping a little bit of liner on that waterline here. So that here, when we put it up here, that's called tight lining. When we put it down here, we're popping it in the waterline. Now, sometimes people don't like to do the underneath because they feel like it makes their eyes look too small. That's a personal preference. I quite like having it there, but trial and error, and you'll work out what you love and what works best for you. Now, I've just recalled that I have not put anything in the brow bone. So pop a little bit of that lighter colour along that brow bone. So we'll go back in here and pop that along there. That helps us just to do that final blending as well. And we can put a little bit right in the corner as well for that extra little bubble. Now, what I like to do is, now here is where you can, add a little bit of a pop. You can do a little bit, like you can add this lighter color as a pop. Or for my eyes in particular, I'm going to show you what is my favorite one, which is again from the Warm Memories palette. And it's this orangey color, which I never thought I would use ever in a trillion years because it's orange, but look at that. It is so beautiful, and it doesn't come out like this on my eye, and I'm going to show you what that looks like when I pop that on now. It just really, just placing that on. See, I'm patting, I'm not rubbing necessarily, I'm patting. And then when I do this, open my eyes, look at that. It looks fabulous. It's just my personal preference, but you can choose any sort of pop color that has a bit of a shimmer. Now, a lot of people say that hooded eyes, you shouldn't use shimmer. I think that's rubbish. I love it. And I think having a little bit of a pop, as long as it's, good quality and not too chunky. I'm not a fan of chunky glitter, but this sort of sheen is just really pretty in my opinion. And then I'm going to put on some mascara, my trusty La Volume mascara. And I'm going to coat that once. I learned a tip way back in the dark ages when I first started putting makeup on to wiggle, and I wiggle my head rather than the mascara sometimes. But I just wiggle to be able to get right down to the bottom and then wiggle it to the ends. And that helps to separate the lashes as well. There we go. How's that? I don't often put mascara on the bottom lashes, but you can if you like. I find that it doesn't value add to the look. My preference is to have everything focused on the top and to lift everything on the top. more so than have any focus on the bottom. So apart from just that one little sort of blendy blend that we did before, I pretty much just leave it like that. So there you have a simple look using some, but comment down below if you'd like me to try this again with some browns as well or different color options. I'm just going to go away now and do the other side, and I'll be back shortly. See you soon. Okay, I am back and I've got both eyes done now. So what do you think? It's beautiful to be able to see the color above the hood, and remember, less is more. So just want to finish off this look now with some blush from this fabulous palette. And if you're interested, I have another video where I'm pitting this against the new Gucci Glow Blush and also the YSL Blurring Blush. And if you want to see who wins out of that little battle, then I'll link that below. But for now, let's pop a little bit of this on. I really like to start light and then build my way up. This is a really nice subtle, you know, you could leave it there if you want to. Quite often like to do a bit of a pop of the deeper pink as well. There you go. Pop a little bit of this one. Now this looks like full on when you look at it here, but it's actually not so bad when you pop it in. And I just sort of concentrate that up here and a little bit more down this side. Again, go in slow, work your way up. Works really well for everything really. It's a good philosophy in life. Start slow, work your way up. And then pop a little bit of the highlighter shade as well so you can get that sort of sheen happening. See that? There we go. Beautiful. So for me, you know, doing the eye makeup is important, but I feel like when you want to make your eyes pop, then the whole face all together all works together cohesively to just bring out the best features. And okay, I am jumping in here. It has been now nearly 5 hours since I did this eye makeup look and applied the brand new concealer from Chanel. So just checking in to show you how this is going. I'm going to come in a little bit closer and you can see here it's not settling into any fine lines. It's still holding up really well. It's still looking really smooth, and I'm surprised at how smooth it's looking because I've actually just finished filming another video which was comparing the new Gucci Glow blush with a whole heap of my other luxury blushes. So if you're interested in that video, check it out. I'll link it below. But I thought that the concealer might not hold up so well, but it actually has. It's looking really good still so far. So there we have the concealer update. And now back to my final thoughts. There we go. There we have the final look, and really happy with how that turned out. I would love to hear your thoughts below on how you think you would go in, or actually give it a try and tell me how you go. And if you'd like me to recreate this using my top tips with other colors, then I'd be really happy to do that as well. So just let me know what you'd like. But just recapping some of my tips. Make sure that when you're placing the eye makeup on, that you're looking straight ahead, head back a bit like that so you can access it. But when you look like this, you'll be able to see whether you are able to see the eyeshadow above the eyes. Make sure that we have that imaginary line from the edge of your eye to the edge of your eyebrow and never go beyond that. Always go in with the dark and out with the light. Start small and build your way up, and choose your tools well, and they don't have to be the most expensive, but make sure they're not too fluffy. Nice and firm is really good. And I think that's it. So please let me know what you think below, and I hope I can see you in my next video. If you found this helpful, feel free to like, subscribe, share it with your friends. Whatever you would like to do is much appreciated. Thanks for being with me. Bye.